How do you train for specific events compared to getting in shape for any sport?
Well, you have to first choose the event that you want. So if you're jumping, you need to figure out exactly what muscles I'm using to jump. So jumping would be more leg muscles, especially like hamstrings and your glutes or your butt muscles. So you want to do more exercises, whereas like squats, other type of jumping workouts to really build up those muscle groups. Whereas like your shoulders, you don't really need because you do run a little bit, so you use some arm muscles there, but you don't really need to train them. But if you're throwing, so if you're throwing discus or javelin or shot put, you want to have more upper body strength, so you want to focus on your shoulders and your back. So different kinds of push-ups, lifting weights, different shoulder workouts. And then for all events, you need a strong core because the core is the most important muscle group for pretty much any athletic activity. So you have to do a lot of ab workouts, so crunches, etc.
And what about running?
Running, obviously, depends what kind of running you're doing. If you're long distance running, you're going to want to focus on going for long distance runs. Not all the time, but sometimes. And you're going to want to stretch more because you want to have nice longer muscles. Whereas if you're sprinting, you want more compact muscles, so you're going to do a lot more of explosive kind of workouts. So more sprinting. You can do a lot of jumping workout too for sprints. That's about it.
And should you train hard every day? And if not, when should you train?
You don't want to train hard every day. You're going to burn yourself out, especially if you have a meet. Let's say you have a meet on a Wednesday. That Tuesday for sure you don't want to have a hard workout because you'll obviously have a poor performance at your meet. But that Monday would be a great day to have a huge workout. So maybe like 2 days before a meet, that's the best time to train hard. And then 2 days after a meet is another good time to train hard. But usually around the day before and the day after a meet, you don't really want to train all that hard because you want to have a good performance for the meet, so you take it easy the day before. Maybe if you're a runner, you just go for a light run, and then the day after you want to recover from the meet before, so you can also go for a light run if you're a runner, or if you're doing a field workout. The day before you can practice your events, and then the day after you can just do kind of a light workout, just more stretch than anything.
And how important is a cool down after a meet, after events?
The cool down is important. Obviously the warm up is more important, so you definitely want to have a great warm up. The cool down, it depends really on the event. Every event you should cool down, but if you're a mile runner, you're definitely going to want to cool down and get your heart rate down before you start doing anything else. So you can catch your breath, obviously, right after the race and kind of like walk around a little bit, take some deep breaths, and then if you want, you can go for like another really light jog, not as far, just maybe a quarter of the track, or mostly just to slow your heart rate down and loosen any muscles that are kind of feeling tight.
And what should you eat before and after you exercise or after a meet?
There's different opinions. I can only kind of say what I think. The night before a meet, I know everyone usually likes to say like let's eat a lot of pasta. I would say 2 days before a meet. So again, if we're using a meet on a Wednesday, Monday night I'd have a lot of carbohydrates to store. The night before a meet, more protein, so that might be a good time for just some kind of meat, steak or pork chops or anything, just because protein's a little bit quicker to burn. And then the day of a meet, obviously eat healthier foods at school. Again, I would like to focus more on protein than carbs, just because you're going to want to burn that faster, whereas carbs take a little bit longer to burn. And then at the meet, a few pieces of fruit here and there, maybe bites of a granola bar. Earlier, way before your meet, you definitely don't want to be eating right before because you'll get cramps. Same with drinking water. You want to have a few sips of water throughout the day, and then a few sips before your event. Not right before, because you'll most likely get a cramp. And then after, after the meet, that's when you can start to eat a little bit more. But that's when you want to eat more carbohydrates again after, and have, your spaghettis and pastas and baked potatoes, all that after the meet when you get home.